The wait is over. Adonis Creed is returning to our screens. It's been 4 years since the last part came out and a lot has changed. For starters, the leading man, Michael B. Jordan, is making his directorial debut with this film, and it seems like the actor had loads of good advice to help him. That's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. Let's get started. First up, the Coogler and Jordan partnership continues. Michael might be one of the luckiest people in the whole industry. Not only has he been on 2 of the best shows of all time, but he's also worked with some of the greatest directors since he began acting as a child. So it's no wonder that he's got good friends and mentors all around him. And that's exactly who he turned to for advice on his directorial debut. Ryan Coogler has made 3 incredible feature films: Fruitvale Station, Creed, and Black Panther. And these projects star the one and only Michael. These two create magic together. So of course, the actor sought his friend as he headed into this new chapter of his career. The 35-year-old superstar shared he had been talking to Coogler since they made the first part of the franchise together, about maybe going behind the camera someday, and then the acclaimed director told him to go for it. Jordan revealed that he was told that there was never the right time. You just had to jump in the deep end and go for it. Then he said he knew this was the moment to take that step with this movie. Also, Ryan has a story credit on the film, so we're sure we'll see his influence on the project. Next up, Denzel Washington chimes in. Michael expressed that talking to directors that had been through this entire process before really gave him a good idea of what this experience was going to be like for him. He leaned on those conversations and advice. Some came straight from Washington. These 2 legends worked together on the 2021 movie A Journal for Jordan, which was Michael's last project before the latest part of Creed. The Wire actor opened up about that experience and stated that he had that wisdom and support from Denzel all throughout this process. He said that he helped him out a lot during prep. He took it one day at a time, but also kept planning 10 steps ahead. It seems like he had everything he needed within reach to pull this off. We can't wait to see it. Coming up, it's the perfect time for Jordan to step up. As we mentioned earlier, Michael has had a superb career, and he's only 35 years old. He's frequently worked with experienced directors, but the best part of this film is that he has a history with the Creed franchise. We'd argue he knows the character of Adonis better than anybody else. After all, he's been playing him for over 6 years now. He knows the ins and outs of his world. Better place to make your debut as a director. Of course, there are added pressures of following in the footsteps of acclaimed figures like Coogler to deliver a well-crafted journey filled with adrenaline-filled fight sequences. But hey, it's not the first time he's had to do that here. After all, Creed was following the iconic Rocky movies, and the first 2 parts exceeded expectations and lived up to those, mainly thanks to Michael. If he can go up against Sylvester Stallone's tough boxer from Philadelphia, who's been a cornerstone of film history for decades now, he can definitely pull this off as well. Lastly, no Stallone this time around. This one's definitely a bummer though. Speaking of Rocky, it's going to be weird to watch this film without him. His relationship with Adonis was the heart of this story. Sylvester and Michael also had incredible chemistry in creating such a heartwarming connection, but the 76-year-old isn't coming back for this one, although it makes sense too. Toward the end of the last film, Rocky tells his apprentice that it was his time now, and perhaps this is the perfect way to show the passing of the mantle from one great fighter to another. Even without Balboa, we know his influence over Creed will be present. But it was time that Stallone hung up his gloves and Jordan became the face of this series. Now let's talk about some other actors who have starred in movies they've directed. First up, Angelina Jolie. Is there anything this incredible woman can't do? On the surface, 2015's By the Sea was a film about a marriage falling apart, starring Angelina and her then partner Brad Pitt. But the movie had so much more to this. Full credit to Jolie's vision. It was a story about the toxic power of expectation and the corrosive nature of celebrity life. Now, it didn't get the best reaction from fans and critics, but it showed how phenomenal the 47-year-old actress was behind the camera. She doesn't like to act in movies as she directs, but By the Sea is a testament to the fact that she should. Up next, Bradley Cooper. Speaking of people that are incredible in every way, Cooper joins our list. Bradley has been in the industry for decades with more iconic roles than anybody could count, but gave himself his best role in A Star is Born. The character of Jackson Maine may not look like it's one for the Hangover actor, but he made it his own, and we can't imagine anybody else doing it justice. This was the film of the year in 2018, and for all the right reasons. Not only did Cooper give us a super touching story about love, stardom, and heartbreak, but he also uncovered Lady Gaga as a stellar actress, like a truly great director. For that and everything else this movie gave us, we are forever grateful. Moving on, Danny DeVito. DeVito. Folks, it's one icon after another. DeVito had more than a few directorial credits in short films and TV episodes, but his feature-helming debut came in 1987's Hitchcockian comedy Throw Mama from the Train. Everything the 77-year-old does is extraordinary, but nobody expected this film to be as fantastic as it actually was, and we mean that in the best way possible. The actor handled the material with full confidence. The film was stylish, hilarious, and original. He did it again with the 1989 flick The War of the Roses, 1996's Matilda, and 2002's Death to Smoochie. And if these weren't a staple in your house growing up, you missed out. We just want to know why he stopped making these. Not to mention Jackie Chan. Folks, this goes beyond just directing too. Chan's known for directing his own stunts and action sequences from the start of his career, but the legendary actor started directing his movies a little later, with classics like Police Story 2 and Armor of God 2, Operation Condor. But it gets so much better. Did you know Chan once did 15 different roles on one film? That's right, 2012's Chinese Zodiac saw the 68-year-old as director, actor, producer, fight choreographer, composer, we could go on. And yes, of course, that is a world record. Coming up, Charlie Chaplin. Let's take a trip down memory lane. We can't talk about actors directing themselves and not mention Chaplin, one of the greatest to ever do it. He directed himself for most of his career and did so before the coming of sound, added effects, and music in a big manner. Some of his greatest hits, like City Lights and Modern Times, had him remain silent and still entertained audiences and created phenomenal storylines. Even other hits, like The Great Dictator, had him speaking and provided the same nuance. There are very few people who match Chaplin's legacy that he created for himself. Next, Barbra Streisand. For over a decade, Streisand was told that she was too old to play the lead in Yentl, so she took matters into her own hands. As a director of the project, she transformed Isaac Bashevis Singer's story about a Jewish girl posing as a boy to receive an education into a deeply moving, modern feminist musical. She was already an icon in Hollywood, but this proved that her talents knew no bounds. She continued to share her directorial magic with 1991's The Prince of Tides and 1996's The Mirror Has Two Faces, both superb and underrated. Finally, Orson Welles. Come on, you knew he was going to be on this list. Welles' directorial debut, which was also his on-screen acting debut, is widely regarded as the greatest of all time, and it fully deserves to be. 1941's Citizen Kane is a household name today, and it's all thanks to Orson. Not only was he fantastic behind the scenes, but he also gave us an incredible acting performance playing the character of a larger-than-life media tycoon, Charles Foster Kane, from a young age to when he grows old. You couldn't fault this one if you tried. Citizen Kane is studied in film schools to this day, and one watch will show you why. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Michael B. Jordan has what it takes to be a great director? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Goodbye and see you in the next one.